The New York Knicks have finally won a championship. All of New York, all the tri-city areas, or tri-state areas, y'all just take in a deep breath and embrace this feeling because finally you guys have a championship that is brought to the Big Apple. Fellas, this is miraculous. Hey, Christmas came early, literally, for the whole state of New York. Man, chill. What does this mean for the New York Knicks?
It means that the New York Knicks are even more hopeful about what's going on in the future, but it's also a bad thing because Knicks fans are so fickle. Like there is no in between with Knicks fans, Ron. It's either get rid of everybody on the crew or something like this happens and we win in the NBA championship. There is no in between. There is no let's build on this and let's see if we could get better. Now it's we in the NBA championship and we're winning the whole thing. This is New York Knicks fans. And if they don't do it, you see what's going to happen. I actually am really worried, Ron, when it comes to New York. That's why I don't want to see them win the NBA championship. Not because I hate New York, but because I know they're going to burn the city to the ground if they do it. I know that for a fact. They're going to end up lighting that city
It's
on
the
fire.
concrete jungle. Concrete
Exactly
can't catch on fire. That's the
goodness.
perfect city to go up in flames.
No, they will burn that city to the ground if the New York Knicks win the NBA championship. No doubt. That's why I don't want to see them do it. My brother, Ron, I told you this yesterday. My brother already told me if they win the NBA championship. This is a banker who's telling me to get bail money if they win the NBA championship. He told me that. So I gotta put like $5,000 away because if they win it, he's gonna be in the streets. He's gonna be outside. So I mean, this is a dude who deals with home loans and business loans, telling me that he's gonna be in the streets. So I'm really worried about that sort of stuff. But this was great, Ron. This is great for the tri-state area. This is great for the city of New York. I think the in-season tournament was a huge success. I wasn't a fan of it when it first came out. I thought it was just a gimmick. I thought it was just something to just sell tickets and make some more money. But I think this has been great. I think we've seen within the in-season tournament, I think we've seen some playoff previews that I think that can be really good come playoff time. So I love it, Ron. And that game yesterday was awesome. Yes, sir.
I think it's very validating for New York. I think they needed something like this. Sometimes you need a bit of validation. You need a little bit of success as a team. You know, we saw Indiana go on a run to the NBA Cup final, probably accelerated their growth as a group. Maybe this does the same for New York. You know, tasting that little bit of success together, understanding what it meant to play in high-level games with everything on the line. So I think that, and it showed when they got some performances out of some guys that we probably didn't expect. You know, I think it was a great game. Like Chill said, I think the NBA in-season tournament's a success. I think they're going to raise the banner in Madison Square Garden. So very happy for Knicks fans because it's been a long time since they tasted some type of success. But, man, in terms of the game, another great game. I think it told us a lot about both teams. When the game got close, I had New York because I don't think San Antonio had been in these types of situations enough yet. So I had New York if it was a close game. But some of the ancillary pieces, like Mitchell Robinson, you know, like OG Anunoby, like Tyler Kolek, they were unbelievable. And yeah, shout out to New York. I thought I was really happy for them, and it sounded like it was like a New York home game, by the way, which I thought was interesting. They had a lot of traveling fans, so
Knicks fans definitely travel. Yes, they do. Real talk. Are you prepared 10 years from now? Are you prepared when I'm even whiter, right? Are you prepared 10 years from now to start having conversations about in-season tournament cup MVPs in the GOAT conversation? Are you prepared for that? Because we're gonna have to do that, just so you know.
We may have to, you know what I'm saying? Okay. And Jalen Brunson has etched his name in the in-season tournament lore with his MVP in the championship. But in all honesty, Chill, I don't think that's going to hold too much credence. Even as the years go by, I still don't think that's going to be like, oh my goodness, so-and-so's better than LeBron because he has 4 in-season tournament. Like, I don't think that's going to be a thing. Hopefully it's not. I'm praying.
Well, wait a minute, though, real talk. Stay right there. And the reason why I'm saying that is because were we not let's just say 5 years ago, before the All-Star game got whack as it is, wasn't All-Star game MVPs a big deal? I'm just saying. Well, All-Star game MVPs,
you know what? They were a bigger deal. They were a bigger deal. That is true. I still don't think they were like in the GOAT conversation, but they were a bigger deal for sure. You are right about that. But I do think that the more and more I watch the Knicks chill, Dame, Mars, I'm becoming more and more of a believer of this team. I really think that they're the best team in the East. I've been saying that for a little while now. OG Anunoby is great. Jalen Brunson is great. Even though he's inefficient, last night he was 11 to 27 from the field. The fact that he still gets to that level of volume as far as even the production and the scoring. To me, in high leverage situations, you'll take that volume even if it comes with a bit of inefficiency. Like the fact that he's still getting 25, 30 points, even in an inefficient game or outing, that is still valuable. Mitchell Robinson was fantastic last night. I think he did a fantastic job on Wemby. I think he attacked Wemby on the glass, especially offensively. He had 10 offensive rebounds last night by himself, 10, 15 rebounds in total. And that's one thing that they definitely focused on. They wanted to be aggressive with Wembanyama. They went to that double big lineup with Mitchell Robinson and Cat. And hey, the Knicks can give OKC a burn. I'm not saying they're gonna beat them, not saying that, but the Knicks can give OKC a little burn because of that interior presence. I do think that's one of the ways that you try to be OKC, kind of try to be physical with a Chet and even an iHeart on the interior, and try to dominate them and give yourself more opportunities and more cracks at it. OKC still wins a series, by the way. I'm not saying that. The
Being
Knicks
from
win.
the
But the Knicks make it competitive.
Yeah, they'll give them a little burn. Yeah.
Being from the Northeast, and I'm not one of these jump off the roof type of dudes. Who's a better offensive rebounder in the game today? Is it Mitchell Robinson or Steven Adams?
Both. I think both are the two best. Both are the two best in the league. And you know what? And I'm glad you brought it up, real talk, about Mitchell Robinson, because I had this thought after the game, and I think Mars might have messaged something, but the concept of non-offensive players. Like, can you be considered a non-offensive player when you bring so much value to the offense, like you said? Like when we look at Houston, for example, chill with Steven Adams. The stats tell us that 1 in every 4 misses, he's grabbing a rebound, which is leading to the highest efficiency shots in basketball, which is layups, dunks, open three-pointers. When you look at the game 2 days ago when the Lakers played the Suns, they don't win that game without Jared Vanderbilt crashing the offensive glass, all the activity on the offensive glass. And when you look at the game yesterday with Mitchell Robinson, the offensive rebounding, the second chance points, getting the opposing bigs in foul trouble, changing the trajectory of the game. These guys are categorized as non-offensive players, but they actually bring so much value to the offense. And when a guy like Mitchell Robinson can neutralize someone like Wemby and give you so many minutes of just, I was okay with him actually finishing the game. And I said this, like I was okay with Cat not
playing, sure.
coming back just because how good he played. Guys like that are going to be so valuable to this Knicks team that has aspirations of making the finals, have aspirations of, giving someone like OKC some problems, because when you have offensive rebounders like that, it gives your offense a whole different complexion. And it allows guys like Jalen Brunson to go 11 for 27 because you're getting so many other chances. Some of these other ill-advised shots are fine because you've got guys on the inside doing work. So, man, they don't win those games without him, all the dirty work.
I think it's so damning to the defense when you have that kind of activity on the offensive glass. When I think, Mars, when I think about rebounding and I think about great rebounders, I think about very much like bucket getting, right? I think about how you do it. I think about who you're doing it against. I think about where you're doing it. And I think about how often you do it. And when I watch Mitchell Robinson as an offensive rebounder on the stage that he was on yesterday, to be able to stick his nose in there and get offensive rebounds in that atmosphere, that's a big deal for me. I mean, when you talk about 10 offensive rebounds just from him alone, real talk, that's 30 extra potential points we're getting just off the glass, right? That's not including the other guys getting buckets. That's just him contributing to the other stuff that we're trying to do here. And when I think about Steven Adams as an offensive rebounder, and I want to stay on the Knicks, Ron, but when I think about Steven Adams as an offensive rebounder, I think that he attracts a little bit more attention than Mitchell Robinson, off the strength that he's on the floor longer and he's less of an offensive liability. Like, he can score around the rim. And because he can score around the rim, I think that his ability to rebound keeps him on the floor, and him being in traffic, there's a reason why they called him. I mean, this I heard Jimmy Butler say he's the strongest player in the NBA. I mean, when you dealing with dudes like that on the offensive glass, fighting with guys like that all night long, as opposed to a guy like Mitchell Robinson, who he could run out of gas. But last night he was nothing short of fantastic. He was great.
But chill, look at what you're talking about, though. And I just want to take a second to pause. And I want everybody to realize just how important rebounding is and what rebounding can mean for your team in a close game like this, or even in a series. Now, a lot of times we overlook rebounding. We act like rebounding doesn't matter. We act like rebounding is just uncontested rebounds, and it just is what it is. But guys like Mitchell Robinson and guys like Steven Adams really move the needles, and they move furniture in the paint. These type of guys they're crucial. They're critical. Like, these guys can win you a series. They can be the make or break for your team. And it's like, as we seen last night, what Mitchell Robinson did, being able to get extra possessions, like these dudes like this are really cheat codes that can come in and get offensive rebounds, control the defensive glass too. Like that, that's important to have a guy.
So does that mean, Ron? So does that mean that we got guys like Dennis Rodman, like Michael Cage, like those guys could play today? Because I'm on the side of, you can't just be. You have to be able to score the basketball in today's game because the guys are so skilled, right? But I also recognize with what's going on in the game today, the Knicks proved to me last night that despite all the bucket getting, despite all the hoopla about scoring, in the end, if you don't defend and you don't rebound, you ain't winning. It's that simple. It's really that simple. If you don't defend and you don't rebound, you're not winning. So you can run the score up. All that ball handling shit looks really fancy, Ron. I'm not going to argue that point. But if you don't get on the glass, you don't stick your nose in there, and you don't get us, if you don't stop plays, or if you don't get us extra possessions, you will be watching. You will be losing. It's that simple.
Chill. The team that did it for me, as far as this concept, the year was just all of last year, and my team in the back, man. What the Rockets did last year really proved, like, hey. Because the offense was shaky at best for the Houston Rockets last year, as far as just like creating quality looks, anybody on the team being efficient as a scorer. Jalen Green wasn't all that efficient. Sengun wasn't all that efficient. We had multiple non-shooters on the court at times, but guess what the Rockets could do? They could defend and they could rebound, and that won them a lot of games. They could get out in transition because of their defense. And rebounding, you have to rebound, Chill, to get out of transition. I don't know if the people know that or not. You have to rebound and close the possession before you.
No, you don't. You just let the ball go through the rim and just throw the ball out and let's run. You don't got to rebound. Yeah. So you got to rebound to get out in transition, and then on top of that, even though they were inefficient as far as their shooting, they offensive rebounded. So it didn't even really matter. And then, just like Damian said, that leads to either putbacks, layups, dunks, and open threes, which are all the most efficient shots in the game. So the Rockets did it for me last year. And of course, Dennis Rodman could definitely play today, Chill. He's just not better than Anthony Davis, but it's another conversation for another day.
and let's not forget with rebounding. Let's not forget with the rebounding that with the rise of the pace and space in sort of the early 2010s, offensive rebounding sort of disappeared for a few years because teams were like, our number one priority has to be coming back in transition, right? So offensive rebounding disappeared. Now teams have understood that with the correct floor balance and we can attack, we're also being balanced defensively if this breaks down. Intentional offensive rebounding has come back into the game. And now guys like Mitchell Robinson are so valuable because their intention on the offensive end is to rebound the basketball. So I'm glad it's come back and it's become another massive equalizer like the three-point shot.
Real Talk kind of brought this up earlier. When you think of the OKC Thunder, and Morris has emphasized this too, it's really only one thing that's going to beat them. And that's like your size in the key. The Houston Rockets, i.e., we were talking about it last week. We were talking about who has a better chance of knocking off the Thunder, the Spurs or the Rockets. Morris said, I'm gonna go with the Rockets just because they're size in the paint. Obviously, Denver, Jokic, offensive rebounds. You got Valanciunas coming in too. And then when you look out east, Real Talk just brought up the Knicks, how that'd be a tough series for them because Cat, Mitchell Robinson and the size that they'll provide in the paint. And it's like, man, is this the formula? Can one of these three teams really do it?
Ron, this is what I was thinking after watching, and this is kind of where I'm at for the Knicks. The Knicks need to do everything they possibly can to get Giannis on this team. And I would trade Cat. That's who I'm looking to trade. If I can replace Cat and put Giannis on this team, and we have a front court of OG, Giannis, and Mitchell Robinson, that front court is giving people problems come playoff times. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying like, oh, they want Cat playing with Giannis because Cat provides the spacing and yada, yada, yada. And then I've been hearing some suggest trading OG Anunoby and or Mikal Bridges for that. I vehemently disagree.
Goodbye.
Yeah, no. I'm not trading OG or Mikal to get Giannis. The thing that Giannis has been missing in Milwaukee for some time now are point of attack defenders, either at the guard or wing position. Why would I then subtract that to add him? And now we have Cat and Giannis front court, which is going to be great offensively, but with them two with no point of attack defenders, really, I don't really like that. I think if you can swap Cat and some picks or whatever the case may be, and turn that into Giannis, and now even when you're closing games, you can go to your Jalen Brunson, Mikal, OG, Josh Hart, Giannis lineup to close games. That team right there, Ron, they can beat OKC. I don't know if the team as currently constructed can, but that team with Giannis can beat OKC.
Why did yesterday tell you they need Giannis?
Well, it's not so. Is that Cat isn't as like
he rebounds? By the way, real talk.
Some people
He does a lot for their spacing, though, Cat.
He does.
Yes, he does. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Giannis will provide spacing as well because he's Giannis.
He is Giannis. Okay, interesting. Okay, understandable. I don't know if the Bucks would trade Giannis for Cat and whatnot, but
that would 100% have to be a 3-team trade.
Yeah,
I've heard that they were.
The Bucks are like, yo, do not send him over here.
Yeah.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the chat throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.